Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending tonight's Hubbard County Planning Commission Board of Adjustment meeting. Please bear with me while I read the meeting procedures. All persons in attendance at the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment meetings are expected to comply with the following meeting procedure. Thank you in advance for helping make this a manageable meeting. Copies of agenda item materials are available for public viewing on the table located at the back of the meeting room. These materials are not to leave the table so that others in attendance may also view them. Please turn phones to vibrate off during the meeting and conduct any sidebar conversations outside of the meeting room. Interruption or other interference with orderly conduct of the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment meeting will not be allowed. Defamatory or abusive remarks are always out of order. Disruptive persons will be removed from the meeting. The chair may terminate a speaker's privilege of address if, after being called to order, the speaker persists in improper conduct or remarks. Written material concerning agenda items must be submitted to the Environmental Services Department by 3:30 p.m. on the Wednesday immediately prior to the meeting date. Written materials will not be accepted after this deadline or at the meeting because the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment will not have sufficient time to review them prior to the meeting. Such material must state the agenda item for which it is being submitted and the name and address of the submitting party. Planning Commission business is conducted first, followed by the Board of Adjustment business. The chair will call the meeting to order and explain the meeting procedure. The chair will read each agenda item into the record, ask the applicants to come forward to the presenter's table, state his, her, or their names and addresses for the record, and explain his, her, or their request. Okay. The Planning Commission will then discuss the item agenda with the applicant. The chair will then ask for public comments on the agenda item. To facilitate an orderly, efficient meeting, there is a 3-minute speaking time per speaker per agenda item unless the chair allows a speaker additional time. The chair may terminate the speaker's privilege of address if, after being called to order, the speaker persists in improper conduct or remarks. When the chair recognizes a speaker, he or she may approach the audience podium and the microphone, state his or her full name and address for the record, and write such on the speaker log, and then share his or her comments. The audience podium microphone must be used by the recognized speaker because the meeting is recorded. A member of the public may not donate his or her speaking time to another speaker. A speaker should state his or her comments and address the issue, not the applicants. All comments are to be directed towards the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment. Please do not repeat comments already made by the previous speakers. The chair reserves the right to ask a group with similar comments to appoint a spokesperson. If written comments have been submitted to the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment, please do not read them aloud during the meeting as they are already part of the record and copies thereof have been given to the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment. After everyone wanting to speak on an agenda item has done so, the chair will close the public comment period on the agenda item. No further public comment will be taken after this point. The chair will give the applicant an opportunity to address issues raised during public comment. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment then will continue its discussion on the agenda item and the chair will entertain a motion on it. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment may make a motion to pass, deny, or table the item. Once a motion is made and seconded, the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment will develop findings of facts for conditional use permit, variance applications, and then vote on the motion. Once a vote is taken on the agenda item, the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment will move on to the next agenda item. Meetings commence at 6 p.m. and continue until all agenda items have been heard or until 10 p.m. No new agenda items shall be considered after 9:45 p.m. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment may, at its discretion, continue an item that is on the floor at 10 p.m. Any remaining agenda items shall be continued to another date or time, preferably the immediately following Tuesday at 6 p.m., and no further public comment will be provided for such a meeting continuation. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment, through the chair, may modify these procedures prior to a meeting or an agenda item. Right. Okay. First of all, we don't have any Planning Commission, so there's no approval of the minutes, no old business, no new business. We'll move right into the Board of Adjustment. Approval of the January 22nd, 2024 meeting minutes. Does anybody have any comments about the meeting minutes? No. Anybody care to make a motion?
I will make a motion that we accept the minutes of the January 22nd, 2024 meeting.
Okay,
And this is Mark. I'll second that motion.
Okay. We have a motion by Ken and a second by Mark to approve the meeting minutes as presented. I will take a vote. Ken, how do you vote?
Vote aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
And this is Veronica. I vote aye. Minutes have been approved, 3-0. Okay, now we will go forward. No old business. We'll go to the first item on the agenda for new business. Variance application 1V-24 by Tony and Connie Swenson, part of the northeast quarter, section 29, Township 140, range 35, Todd Township, parcel 27.29.00210. Applicants are requesting a variance from section 4, subdivision A1, B1 of the subdivision ordinance to create a lot that will not comply with the 300-foot minimum lot width requirement. Do we have the applicants available? Yes, please come to the presenter's table. Okay, thank you. You can state your name and address for the record.
Anthony Swenson, 2310 29th Avenue, Pine River, Minnesota.
Perfect, thank you.
Connie Swenson, my address is 2310 29th Avenue, Southwest, Pine River, Minnesota.
Okay, thanks. And if you want to just give us a brief description on your request, you can put the,
Oh,
The microphone's closer forward
that's
to
fine.
you.
Oh, I'm just, the township, they wanted 66 feet. They wanted me to keep, or it would have been okay, I guess, to, without the 66 feet. They wanted me to keep 66 feet of my own land there, I guess.
for the subdivision.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because they had me go and try to get a easement off the highway, but the state wouldn't give me easement, so.
Okay. Okay, this is Veronica speaking. The application looks pretty straightforward. The applicants are looking to subdivide the two tracks into two tracks. Do my members have any questions?
Yeah, this is Ken. I think just for the record, my understanding, they want to divide a current plat into 2 1/4 acre
Yeah, yeah.
lot, or tract, I guess I will call it, and a 7.71 acre tract. And the larger tract needs an access point,
Yes, yes.
and MnDOT will not allow access to Highway 34, and Todd Township will not allow an easement to the property off 119th Street.
Correct.
They want that to be a public road.
Yeah, correct.
And that sort of flagpole portion of your 7+ acre lot does not meet the typical 300 feet that we required, and that's the reason for the variance, if I understand it.
Correct,
So,
yeah.
Todd Township is okay with the 2 1/4 acre, and
Yeah, because that's
commercial-
what-
making it commercial. And if I understand right from the staff report, both tracks have meet all the requirements for any SSTS septic systems.
Correct.
So,
But Hubbard County, that was they wanted 2 1/4, that's why I had to go with 2 1/4.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So,
Any other questions or comments?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open for public comment. Okay, seeing none, I will close public comment. I agree everything that Ken has stated exactly. We have township approval. Basically, the need for the variance, like he said, MnDOT restricts the access along the portion of the highway, and the remnant tract would meet the required minimum lot width. So Township's ordinance doesn't allow that easement, so that's pretty much the reason we need this variance. Anyone care to make a motion?
all right, I'll make a motion that we accept variance application 1V-24.
Ken, are you accepting the staff findings?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, and we adopt the findings of fact from the staff's report. Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Okay, and this is Mark, and I'll second that motion.
Okay. Ken made a motion to approve the variant subdivision application and adopt the staff's findings of facts. Mark seconded the motion. I'll take a vote. Ken, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
This is Mark, I vote aye.
This is Veronica, I vote aye. The motion passed 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, moving forward, the next item on the variance application, 2V-24 by Nick Bertram, Lot 13 and part of Lot 12, Luceth Beach, Section 15, Township 141, Range 34, Lake Emma Township on Lower Bottle Lake, a recreational development lake, Parcel 16.51.01100. The applicant is requesting a variance from Section 702 of the Shoreland Management Ordinance for a proposed expansion of a non-conforming residence located in the shore impact zone. Do we have the applicants? Yes, please come forward. Thank you. If you could just state your name and address, and then you can proceed with your request.
My name is Nick Bertram. My address is 261 Stickney Lane, Great Bend, Kansas. We're asking for a variance just to, the house, as you stated, is too close to the old house, is too close to the lake. And we'd like to add to it another storage, or another story above. And so that's what we're asking for, just a variance to do that. The house is gutted now, there's nothing inside of it. We have to do something with it, obviously, so we're asking for a variance to change the roof line of the thing and add to it.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. I did note on the application that the house was constructed prior to the ordinance, the Shoreline Management Ordinance in 1962, so we are dealing with a non-conforming residence here at 46 feet, 6 inches from the ordinary high water mark. A question for you, sir. If this goes forward and it is approved, when do you plan on doing construction?
We're gonna start this spring, which
Okay.
fairly soon.
Okay, so you, okay. Any questions from the applicant or from the members?
Madam Chair, if I could?
Yes, go
This is
ahead,
Mark
Mark.
speaking. We talked briefly out there the other day, looking at the lot, about you verifying that property line back there so you could know if this drain field would fall within that. Have you
Yeah,
done
and
that?
looking at the drawings there, we think that's right. There's 53 foot from the edge of that garage that's existing now to the property line. So there is room for both of those in there without crossing the property line.
Okay. If I could
For both
continue.
primary and alternate in the future, both, I believe.
Yeah,
Yep. Veronica, if I could continue for a second.
go right ahead.
Just one more question for Eric. Eric, you didn't seem to feel the need to insist on a survey for that line. Did I understand you correctly there?
Yeah, Eric speaking, that was due to Mr. Bertram indicating that he had no intentions of trying to ever in the future sell the back lot separate from the front lot.
yeah.
Okay.
I do not have any plans and would not want to do that. We consider it one lot. I bought it as one lot, and that's the way we intend for it to stay.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Bertram, you also are aware that the failing septic system that you have, it will need to be upgraded prior to any permits being issued. You understand that, which obviously you're going to do if you're going to be building in the spring.
Yes.
So, okay.
This is Ken speaking. Typically in a situation like that, since you have a fairly good-sized lot, lots of area to build, and you're in the shore impact zone, typically we'd prefer you build outside that shore impact zone. Have you thought about the possibility of starting from scratch and building a new structure?
We have thought about it, and a couple of things. It's a nice place where it's at, right? And I know that's not a reasonable thing probably to say, but we like it where it's at. And there is additional expense with the foundation under the main part of the building and the framework is sound. And so there would be some additional expense. You'd have to tear the old building out, the foundation, start over backwards someplace in there, wherever that line comes to, wherever the high water mark is now, and so there is some financial concern with doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, Ken?
No, I have some conditions to talk about after
Okay.
the public.
Sure, yep. So I'm gonna take a moment to open public comment. And seeing we have no public comment, I will close public comment.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, this is Ken. I realize you have a prior variance, 20V08, which would allow an expansion, I think, more larger than what you're doing.
Yep.
Which kind of mitigates at least my thoughts about wanting to move. But I think as part of any approval, first of all, we'd have to put a condition on that in the future, you could not act on that previous variance. It would have to be voided. That the SSTS or your drain field, et cetera, would have to be installed before it could be permitted appropriately. The other thing, since we get trapped sometimes, I'd like to make sure we put a condition that what you build will have the footprint and location exactly as it's showing on your drawings,
Yes, sir.
and that your height will not exceed 25 feet. Your drawings show 24 feet, 10 inches or so, which is a height that normally we would not allow because of its closeness to the lake. It would have to be less, so I want to make sure that you understand when you do your construction, you have to build it to the footprint and location. And the other thing, and that height, and the other thing is, nowhere in your plans do you show a deck or a platform other than an existing small sidewalk on the front side. So this variance does not give you any approval to do any kind of decking or any kind of platform that encroaches to the lake. I'd like to see that condition. And I think you told us you were gonna cut off those rafters that are sticking out of the front of it.
Yep.
So I'm okay with the variance with those conditions.
Okay, just for clarifications, Ken, since it's a non-conforming, and he's already in the shore impact zone, for Eric, he would have to get a variance for a deck anyhow. He's not able to go in there and get one by permit, is that correct? Or is there a gray area with the 15%?
Because the structure predates the ordinance, you would be allowed a 15% lakeward
Okay,
addition, so it wouldn't be big, it'd be 6 feet roughly.
and so Ken, you're looking,
I didn't,
so because the structure predates the ordinance, he is allowed 15% on the deck, which would be only about like 6 feet wide. I'm just questioning on your condition, are you just wanting no deck?
but that doesn't, you can't encroach into the shore impact zone, can you, with that 15 feet?
Yes.
Okay. Or maybe it's the, closer than that. Okay, I would still like to put that condition because there's not much space between the building and so on. Can I put a condition that, now, what I said was purposeful. The current variance does not allow him to build a deck or a platform. If he's allowed by permit to do it, he's gotta come back for that permit or wants to do something.
Yeah, he is allowed by permit to get one that's
Yeah.
within the 15%.
Yeah, and
If he
that's-
wants something larger, he has to get a
I
variance.
was just trying to make sure that that we make it clear that he cannot build a platform or a deck under the current variance.
Okay.
That makes
Do you
sense.
understand that, sir, Mr. Bertram? Currently,
Under this variance that we're asking for, no, it doesn't show it on there. If we
Correct.
come back at some point and say, listen, we want to put a platform there, it would require a different
Variance.
variance or a permit?
Depends about what you want to do, but
If it's, there is an amount we can do without a variance on a permit, the way I understand it,
yeah.
Yep.
or is that wrong?
No, that is correct.
Okay,
Unless we place conditions on this variance application that would allow you not to have one.
okay.
It would be 15% of his 40-some feet. So 6 feet is about what you could do.
Yeah, and we didn't put it on there because we really have no intent to do it. There's a little bit of concrete there. It's level there with grass. It's good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, sir.
yeah, you're right that he could, but it would only allow him about 6 feet.
Correct.
On the way to 55, 7 feet, 7.5 feet.
Okay, this is Veronica speaking. I am in favor also of the application. Some supporting statements converting as provided by staff, converting the existing garage space to living space, placing a second-story addition above the garage space, and adding an attached garage on the non-lakeside exterior wall of the home is a reasonable proposal. The proposed enlargement is smaller in scale than the enlargement authorized by the previous variance, and that hasn't been built. So the structure is in good condition structurally and is located 3.5 feet into the shore impact zone. So if it was located outside the shore impact zone, we would have been able to do this by permit. So again, I am in favor of the application, and I'm prepared to make a motion if we're ready to move forward. Okay, this is Veronica. I make a motion to approve the application and adopt the staff's findings of facts with 4 conditions. Number 1, the failing septic system is to be upgraded and installed before the land use permit can be issued. Number 2, if this variance is acted upon, the 2008 variance 20-V-08 will become null and void. Number 3, the proposal must be built by the footprint and location on the site plan and not to exceed 24 feet in height, 25 feet in height. And number 4, no deck or platform will be allowed on this current variance application.
Okay.
Okay, anyone want to second the
I'll
motion?
second it. This is Ken. I'll second it.
Okay, there's a motion by myself. Ken seconded the motion. With the 4 conditions, I will take a vote. Ken, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Mark, I vote aye.
This is Veronica. I vote aye. Your application has been approved, sir, 3-0. Get in touch with the the Environmental Services Office for the next steps.
All right, thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you, sir. Okay. Next item on the agenda will be miscellaneous. Any miscellaneous or communications?
2 things. One would be just as far as the March meeting agenda, it looks like we'll have 6 to 7 variance applications and 1 conditional use permit amendment application. That would be communication, and then the other item I wanted to speak to was just to give a big thank you to Mark for his service on the board. As everyone on the board knows, this is his last meeting with us. And
Thank you very much.
So he's served since June 6th of 2017, and I have a letter and appreciation certificate from our chair of the county board that I'd like to present to him as a thank you.
Good job.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mark.
Very welcome.
Eric, I will not be here at the March meeting, so.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Yes,
Good job.
very nice.
Good job.
Okay.
All right, Ken said he's not going to be here at the March meeting, Eric.
Okay, noted, thank you.
There's a very remote possibility I could be for the hearing. I would not be for Viewels, but
Okay.
it's a long drive. I leave on
Possibility.
Saturday
Okay.
to be here by Monday, but you know how that is.
Yes, exactly. All right. Okay, anything else? What, we have possible or, okay. Then I'll make a motion to, or anyone make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Thank you.
This is Ken.
This is Mark. I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Ken and a second by Mark for adjournment. I'll take a vote. Ken, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
This is Mark. I vote aye.
And this is Veronica. I vote aye. Meeting adjourned.